We want to get pretty quickly to the way Facebook works. But since Facebook is a web application system, a web information system, all those are equivalent ways of saying the same thing. Since Facebook is a web system, we need to know first how do web systems work. So I've told you previously that the web consists of servers and browsers. The servers give information, they deliver information, they serve information, and the browsers consume information. They show information, they display information. The server runs on some computer up there in the internet, and the browser runs on your local computer, maybe on your phone, or maybe on your laptop, or maybe on your desktop computer. So we have this idea of browsers and servers so far, but now let's go a little bit deeper into it. And we're going to see how those browsers and servers work in a little bit more detail so that we can figure out how the browsers and servers inside of Facebook work. Okay, so let me give you a metaphor that you can begin with. And that's the idea of how television works. Hopefully you know pretty much how television works, right? There's a television station out there somehow broadcasting. It's creating the shows, it's doing all the production on the shows. That television station is responsible for creating the television show. Then it sends it out, it broadcasts it through these giant antennas, and maybe you've seen those antennas around where you live, those giant TV antennas that broadcast the television signal to all televisions. And the televisions receive the signal. The televisions know what to do to turn that signal into a television broadcast. Got the idea? Pretty simple. Television studio creates the information, the antennas broadcast that information all around, and the receivers, in fact television sets are also called receivers, the television sets get that information, they pick up the waves that the antenna has created, and the televisions know how to turn that into a television picture with sound and image synchronized. Okay, that's the idea of a television. Well, we can generalize that, or we can use that metaphor to see basically how the web is working. We have the same parts. We have the thing that's like the television station, and I've called that the server. The server is responsible for creating the information. We have the internet itself, which is responsible for broadcasting, distributing that information. And then we have the browser, which is responsible for receiving that information and seeing the presentation of that information. We have those same three parts. Now now that you have that basic idea, we're going to use a slightly different way of talking about these three parts. We're not going to talk about the server as being the sender. We're not going to talk about the server as being the creator. We're not going to talk about the internet as being the broadcaster. We're not going to talk about the browser as being the receiver or the displayer. Instead, we're going to use this idea of tiers.